We painted the whole house, and without getting a drop of paint on anything but the flappin' flotsam. What's that?
Well, I wasn't expecting ever making a video again in this style, or making a video at all, but here we are again, I guess. It's been a long while since I made one of these, and I'm a bit rusty on how to make commentary videos like this, so bear with me for a bit. Anyhow, today we're going to be talking about Project Moon again, but unlike last time, where I sucked them off for 50 minutes, this time I probably won't be having that same tone. The reason for this is because today I'm going to talk a bit about Limbus, also known as Lobotomy Corporation B. I'm going to talk about how the reveal slowly started, the reveal itself, by that I mean the trailer, and where the shitstorm happened, the aftermath of the reveal, the two prime suspects on who influenced this decision, and why I think this is the worst decision Project Moon has had in their entire careers, and why I think this will backfire a lot, and why, as the title reads, I think Limbus will be dead on arrival. But anyhow, let's not prolong the inevitable, and let's get started. Around June of 2021, Project Moon tweeted out a bit of an ominous image out of the blue. It was a completely pitch black image with the only thing on it being a quote from Dante's Inferno. Later on, people looked at who Project Moon was following, and they found out that they were following a new account that was made the month of this tweet. On their Twitter account, there were, I think, 7 or 8 pictures of characters with their eyes crossed out with red marker. Over the following days, 4 or more characters with the same red marker crossing out their eyes will be revealed, alongside a reply under all of the characters of an emoji and a quote from a book in the language said book was written. I, myself, thought that way of revealing characters was really fucking effective, due to it being really small reveals, like you see a character portrait but you don't even see their eyes, so it makes you think like, why are the eyes crossed out? It was very well done, and due to it being very small reveals, it got everyone's attention without having to show much, and it felt like a bit of an ARG, because there were all these quotes under it, were like, oh, what book is this from, what language is this in, what does this emoji mean, and so on. Fast forward a bit, some concept art gets revealed, what appears to be in-game sprites, and fucking hell, what an upgrade. Compare this to either LobCorp's or Rita sprites, you could tell that the Death Sisters investment really upped their budget. Oh, I forgot to talk about that. Let's take a break from Limbus real quick so I can explain this. On the first of the month that this tweet got posted, Project Moon tweeted out that they were now a part of a Death Sisters Ventures program. If you don't know who they are the ones that made Cookie Run, which is a mobile auto-battler gacha. Keep this in your mind for a bit, this will be relevant later on. Alongside them joining this program, they were given $1.6 million USD as a gift. Basically an investment, but worded nicely. And thus they weren't able to consider themselves an indie company anymore. Okay, that's the difference part, we can continue. After the sprites there was a lot more posted, but I'm gonna summarize it quickly. One of them is a conversation of Volunteer Gabura talking about the new red color named Virgil. More sprites, a full-on logo. Some concept art talking about the branches of LobCorp that were destroyed after the Seed of Light, and the convo between the 3 characters from the reveal. Now we get to the meat of these reveals, being the full-on characters reveals. And trust me, buddy, with these character reveals, well,
little fucking nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy. Your little nuts are gonna be quaking. You're gonna shoot. You're gonna shoot.
The thing that Project Moon did here that appeared to be fucking brilliant is that Limbus had a character for every single type of degenerate out there. For example, Gregor, for those who have a bad relationship with their father, Rodion, those who want to fuck Ben Shapiro's sister, Sinclair, those who like women but want to fuck men, Jisung, those who want the character to look and say, oh, he's just like me, Ishmael, for those who may start crying the side of a lolly, Heathcliff, those who like chuny shit, Don Quixote, wait a minute, I'm going to Don Quixote, for those who like the funny yellow dog, Hong Lu, for those who like handsome men, but not in a gay way. Oh, and for the Chinese, Ryoshu, for those who are into fandom and want their balls crushed with one kick, Meersalt, for the Fujos. Otis, for those who like old women and tanned anime girls. Faust, for those who believe that they can fix her. You can't. And then Dante, for those who are super based, super ripped, fuck women on the daily, and make more money than you will ever see in your life. Also about Dante, he wasn't actually one of the original characters revealed. He was a completely new character. Nobody knew this was gonna happen, and it was a very nice reveal indeed. He looks really fucking cool. And after all these reveals, the hype was through the fucking roof. There was something there for everybody, and more lore to be uncovered, because I didn't mention this, but in Ryoshu's reveal, there was actually some finger lore. We got to see what the styles were of the other fingers. Anyhow, nothing could get anyone's spirits down, and nothing could go wrong. But just like a homeless person on the side of the street holding a "The End is Nice" sign, we were given a warning.
The fuck is this? I can't read moon runes.
No, you fucking retard, look down! The applicant of this trademark was Project Moon. The finding that was October 15th, 2021, and it was a Category 9 type of trademark. And between parentheses it said, game software, downloadable smartphone game application software, game mobile app. This started to get people really fucking scared. Because if it's a mobile game, then that must mean it's a gacha. Because you cannot make any other type of fucking mobile games anymore. It has to either be full of fucking ads or a gacha game. Anyhow, like I mentioned, it's a Category 9 or a Class 9 type of trademark, which is an umbrella category. An umbrella category for being for any program that runs on any type of hardware. So we got to calm down a little bit because, okay, it might say that, but it's an umbrella category. Come on, it's for pretty much any type of software. I did some digging around that time and I saw that other Category 9 types of trademark did not have in parentheses mobile game. That got me a bit wary. But I was in full cope mode. I was thinking, nah, it's not a mobile game. They wouldn't do that. And that's pretty much the pre-reveal part. Now let us move on to reveal itself. On November 15th, Project Moon tweeted out that they will have their 5th anniversary on the 19th of November. Technically the 18th for us Western countries. We knew that we would get some Limbus news on this stream because the Limbus account itself retweeted it. During the anniversary they showed 6 videos, and I'm gonna go through all of them quickly one by one. Starting off with Ayin Day 50. This was pretty much the entirety of Day 50 from Lobolia Corporation, voice acted and with visuals drawn by Nishikuchi, who is one of, if not, the best Rina fan artist. What the fuck can I say about this except for I kneel. This was a fucking masterpiece. Nishikuchi did an amazing fucking job with the drawings for the video, and the voice actor fits Ajin like a fucking glove. This is honestly the way to experience Day 50. If you have a friend who got to Day 50 currently, tell them to just watch this instead of reading it. So that's the first video of the anniversary, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. Moving on, the second video was a reveal for the new theme of Ham Ham Pang Pang being one. Okay, the third video is actually pretty important because it showed us the new comic that Project Moon was making, being called Leviathan. A while back, Project Moon chose 2 artists from the community who would be working on a new comic and a manga. Never forget. Never forget. Anyhow, this new comic was about one of the characters revealed in the Limbus reveals being Virgil, and that's a pretty big thing to fucking note because that means we're actually getting some backstory to this. It looks really good. The artist does an amazing job, like with backgrounds mostly. I feel like there's something off with the faces sometimes, but it was something to really be hyped about. And hey, I know you, you fucking bitch, you old bitch. What the fuck are you doing here? Anyhow, let us move on a bit more to the next video. The next video, like Ayi Day 50, is just apart from Rina, voice acted and with visuals drawn by a fan artist. This time though, it was actually from one of the side stories the director wrote, and the visuals were done by an artist named Yuka. Which, I'm going to be real with you, I have no idea who this artist was, but apparently they have 110k followers, so I must have been living on a rock. Pain. This is my summary of this video. Pain. Let's move on. I'm not really gonna bother with this one, it's just a Q&A with Studio I, where you're just gonna move on directly into the reveal. And the tweet before the video came out said that it was a MIDI song, and it was a song with Cassie, Project MIDI, and Myth and fucking Royd. The people who did the Overlords ending, and who did the Made in Abyss movie 3, the Bonded movie. If you haven't watched it, what the fuck is wrong with you? Watch it right now. A very big fucking name. An extremely big name for what they used to call themselves an indie company, but no more, if you remember. And pretty much I was fucking excited. The hype was not through the roof. It was the fucking atmosphere. This was gonna be so fucking good. The premiere was about to start. 3 minutes left. Oh my fucking god, I'm really gonna like this. Like, spam the fucking like button. Then the fucking video starts. Wow, look at this shit, bro. Look at the fucking visuals. Listen to the song. Oh my god, this is gonna be the best fucking game ever made. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can go wrong. Hey, why are there still 10 seconds left? Okay, to say it was disappointing, it's a understatement. This was horrible. But, okay, come on. It might say Google Play exclusive, and there might be a very bad, sign, because why would you do this? This is your third fucking game, why would you make it a mobile game? But, okay, we're thinking it's a gacha immediately. Just calm down. Like, it being a mobile game doesn't mean it's gonna be a gacha, just look at the website. They updated it, and there are now screenshots and more details about the game. So let's take a look at that real quick. On the website, the first thing you read with is the trailer. Scroll down a bit, we get a segment about the world building, which most of it we already know because of Laboy Corporation and Rena. At the end of this though, it talks about golden bows, I don't know how to pronounce it. I hate English. And basically, these are just the holy grails from Fate. Fucking sucks, I hate Fate. Scroll down more, we get more details about the characters, and after this, we get some actual gameplay. And I haven't mentioned this, but a while back, and I mean like at the start of 2021, so a long while back, Project Moon did a stream talking about the 2 games that they were planning on making. One of them being LCB, Limbus, and the other being LobCorp 2, with some, very basic details about the game. Like, for example, it said that the genre was gonna be a dungeon RPG, so basically a dungeon crawler. That sounds fucking awesome. It says, like, you explore multiple branches of Laboy Corporation, you have, like, a top-down map, and you, like, cave out the maps, you explore the dungeons, and the combat mode is a first-person, just like any standard first-person dungeon RPG. And you run a fixer office where you recruit and hire fixers, and you have HP and SP, just like LobCorp. And fixers have different personalities that affects ego usage, and you can use ego and upgrade it, and it evolves, and fucking very like in-depth stuff. Like being a dungeon crawler in the Project Moon world, like you exploring the fucking branches of Laboy Corporation, it sounds really fucking enticing and really good. So fucking hell, everybody's excited for this. Okay, let's take a look at the gameplay. Wait a minute. I've seen this before. This isn't a dungeon crawling RPG. This is just Rena again. Director, you silly fucking little bitch. What do you mean you're giving me the same thing over again? And what the hell am I looking at? What? Is this fucking Connect 4? What am I looking at? Is Candy Crush? I mean, visually it looks good, yeah, but we already had this. This is Rena. We already played Rena. I mean, this isn't a dungeon crawling RPG, or, well, from the screenshots shown, it doesn't look like one. Like, we don't see any mapping. Like, you can scroll down a bit, it says, like, explore the city through story stages, but you don't see, like, you actually exploring stages. So, what makes me scared about this is that it's just gonna be like any other gacha where you click on a mission, you do the mission, you get in, you get out, and that's it. And there's not gonna be actually any mapping. If you click next to that, it says like you show the VN segments, and wow, that's the same UI as Rena. Okay, this part I shouldn't critique that much because it's a visual novel UI. Of course, they might reuse the same thing, but looking at the sprites themselves, like in the visual novel style, they look kinda crusty. Like, yeah, concept art and all that, but it doesn't have that much of a nice presentation. And one thing I forgot to mention, and that's above here in the gameplay segment, is that it says here, and I quote, "One character, myriad of possibilities. feel like you've hit a wall with your current roster of sinners, those being the characters you play as, in that case we're offering a service where you can borrow the identities and ego that have existed at the moment, and will exist at some point from other realities for your sinners. Now, what does this sound like? Yeah, you guessed it, a fucking gacha system. You give your characters a new little costume, they get a little bit stronger and all of that. No. No, I don't want this. This isn't fun. Like, it's really fucked up that they hyped something up for 4 months or so just to turn out to be a fucking mobile game. Not only that, a gacha game. Well, technically we don't know if it's a gacha game yet, but looking at the descriptions, it sounds like one. The only thing like interesting, I think, well, in my opinion, about this game is the suppressing abnormality segment, because it looks pretty original. I mean, some parts are borrowed from the Boy Corporation's early phase, like where you actually make a decision and you get their knowledge or not. Probably put something on the screen about that, but this doesn't look good. This doesn't look new, I would say. Like, we've already had this, and yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment. Anyhow, that's my fucking improv segment. We're gonna go back to normal. And with that, we now get to the aftermath of the reveal. A very important detail about said reveal is that it's a Google Play exclusive. And the problem with that is that Google Play is banned in China. So, at this point in the timeline, we just had to wait for a response. Project Moon has a track record of responding to problems about their projects relatively quickly. The Finale fiasco, they responded to in 3 days or so. The 9/11 happening was handled in 1. How long do you think they took to respond to this? 1 month. They should be a red flag in most people's minds at this point. But they said that we're going to hold a Q&A where they would answer most people's worries about the game. And honestly, this gave a lot of people, just like myself, some hope. For me at this time, there were 3 or 4 solutions. Number 1, it's not a gacha game. We've doomed about it a lot because it's a mobile game, and thus it may be a gacha game, but we never had any confirmations, and that's just assumptions we made. 2, skip this. It's probably just a spin-off, as it's LCB and not the Boy Corporation 2, so it's probably not that important or relevant, just read the summary. 3, and this one's pretty important to me, gameplay rework, and this is something they've shown in the past that they do a lot. With Rena and with Lockport, they would just rework everything from the ground up and make them more approachable and more nice. Oh, and number 4, just fucking delete the entire thing. We don't need it. Get out. Day of the Q&A. Okay, so we hope that they answer our worries. We hope that it's not a gacha game or a spin-off or whatever. I mean, look at this list here of the ways to solve this. Alright.
Let's go.
Okay, this might sound bad. Yeah, it is a gacha, but come on, it's Project Moon. They don't do this just for greed. It's not just that they're doing this
첫 번째는 부와 명예 중 부를 얻기 위함입니다.
Okay, we still have option 2.
프로젝트 문의 세계관에서도 척추와도 같은 역할을 맡을 것입니다.
Okay, baby, option 3, that's the one, come on! Okay, I know I'm being disingenuous with the spin-off part, but the way it's worded is that it says it's gonna be own standing long-term, story, but it also then says it's gonna be the backbone for the rest of the Project Moon games, as the districts and such. So it makes you think like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be its own story, but still you're gonna have so much influence on the story going forward that could you call it a spin-off at that point? That's my way of like looking at it, because it might be a complete story on its own, but if you're gonna put this much emphasis on the entire other world where it's gonna be the entire backbone, as you said yourself, of the stories going forward, then just calling it a spin-off doesn't seem like the right term to use for it. And with that, some fears were confirmed. For example, the gacha game one. And honestly, it sucks. But hey, you got your little PC port, didn't you? And with that, I'm gonna end the aftermath segment and move on to the penultimate segment, being the prime suspects. Something that has been on people's mind is that this decision was a very weird one and possibly influenced by outside sources. And I think I was able to pinpoint it down to 2 suspects. Number 1, and this one's obvious, Deaf Sisters. The reason Dev Sisters is a major suspect in this decision all comes down to the gift they gave Project Moon back at the start of June 2021. A little schizo theory says that they gave them this gift to show them how much money they're able to make from using the gacha game format, while also doubling it as a bit of an investment. Project Moon took this, and that's how we ended up with the mobile game. Especially with the timing of the announcement being like literally 2 weeks before Limbus, it was kind of weird. And especially the Dev Sisters Ventures program, which is kind of wacky, because yeah, they give gifts to like gaming companies, which is understandable. Then marketplace, sure. Devices, yes. Services, what do you mean by that? Health care? I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I don't want another. Just forget that last part entirely. The point is, Project Moon took this investment and it might have influenced their decision to make a mobile game. But that's just one of the two suspects. The second one being autism. Now, let me elaborate on this one real quick. We all know that director Sama is a bit of a funny little guy, a little funny fellow. And he, in a lot of interviews in the past, has stated that he eventually wanted to make a mobile game. So, take the idea of him already wanting to make a mobile game in the past and add to it the hype that was building around his games and his projects of the weekly releases with, the update Fridays and just a lot of the teasers that were going on with Limbus itself. I think both of those added up into him deciding, okay, my next project is going to be a mobile game, because that way we're going to have a lot of, updates frequently, and due to it being a mobile game, he's going to be able to stretch it out for as long as he can. Add the bonus of Android being the biggest shareholder in Korea, and it just spells its profit for them. But we will never know, so it's all just speculation, and it could have just been that this was their plan all along, since after Love Corp. Editing this and reading the interview over again, I realized that, no, it's not even too suspect. This is the reason all along. No speculation, no bullshit. This is the main suspect. Like, we know why it's a mobile game. He took the opportunity the investment gave him and took it. Reading this again, we should have all seen coming. But my problem is still that this is really early for them to do. Like, I understand that they finally had all the resources to make his dream come true, but so far, he's only 2 titles under his belt, with both of them being pretty janky and, on a game basis, not that refined. I'll talk about this later on. With this, we are done with the major suspects, and we are finally going to get as to why I think this is going to fail hard. But before I get into the cons, I will try to give out some pros to this situation. First off, due to Limbus being modeled in the way it is, they're able to acquire a bigger profit, like Project Moon have said themselves. And with this, they're able to set their sights on way bigger project and thus be able to pump out more quality stuff. The second benefit is that due to this being a mobile game, they're able to reach a bigger audience than before. Because if you remember in the past, Arena requires a dumb amount of RAM, which most people, they don't have or they just can't afford. With that benefit of it being a mobile game also comes that it's portable now, so you can take your save file on the go anywhere you want. That's the good part of the way. Now let's get into the bad and the ugly. The thing that immediately came to my mind with this being a mobile game is that Project Moon has been notorious for having both spaghetti code in LobCorp and horrible fucking optimization in Arena. So now take that and limit it to a mobile device, which has way less force than a PC, and it might lead to a more janky product than fucking security breach. Talk about limiting to a mobile device. I have the feeling, and I believe this 100%, that due to them focusing this to be on mobile first and afterwards doing the ports, that this will not be able to reach a higher quality than that Arena reached because of hardware limitations. Another big problem is that they went with the gacha model, and one of the big issues with the gacha model, and I actually don't know if they will add this in Limbus, but every other gacha does it, so I myself guess that it will happen, is that they will add the stamina system. The bad part about stamina system is that if you compare it to Arena, is that when you played Arena, if you wanted, you could binge it in one day, or you could binge it over a couple of days, and you could just catch up so you'll be ready for the next update. Having a gacha and probably having a stamina system will limit you and cage you from being able to binge and being able to catch up faster. And I don't know how big the scope is going to be of updates later on, but maybe, and this is just a guess, they're gonna add so much content in one update where you literally don't have the stamina requirements to beat it in one day. So you're gonna have to wait before you can actually get back into it, and that's not fun. The biggest problem with Limbus being a gacha is that it's a gacha. What I mean by that is that Project Moon chose this genre so they can accumulate more wealth and turn a bigger profit. The problem with this is that during Arena, even with its all-time biggest update, that was still 7,000 to 8,000 players. I have no idea what Project Moon is fantasizing will happen, but their games are incredibly niche, and the actual percentage of people that will whale a lot of money or, hell, even spend any money isn't that big normally. What I think they are trying to aim for is trying to use the big amount of brand loyalty they have gained over the course of Arena. Because, and you can't convince me otherwise, after Arena, a lot of people have started to become really loyal to Project Moon and are able to look past other fuckers for mistake. And I honestly get it. I was very loyal to them too. But I don't think that just with the loyalty alone they will be able to turn over a bigger profit. That's the biggest problem with it being a gacha. Due to it being a gacha, it's also an always online game. Now, two problems with that. First off, if you have a bad internet connection, or no internet connection at all, you might just not be able to play the game. But that's honestly a minor problem compared to the massive problem that this comes with. Due to it always being online, it requires servers to host the game. Problem with maintaining servers is that it costs a lot. Like I mentioned before, I don't think the player base itself will be able to pay for it. So, what I think will happen is that the servers will eventually shut down. When the servers shut down, because it'll happen one way or the other, everything about it will vanish. So all important lore stuff being set up with the fingers, or any of the districts, or any big lore characters will disappear and will be unplayable because there's just no way to play it anymore. That is by far the biggest problem with this. Once the servers go down, the entire game goes down. Now, for the last big major problem I will mention is that it's going to be an extremely long-lasting project. Now, that in itself isn't bad. The bad thing is that this will delay every other major game that will plan to release. Or at least that's what I figured from the way it was worded in the Q&A. You could probably interpret this as it being post-release, but I will take it as it being either midway Limbus or post-ending. So the only thing that will actually be active during Limbus is Leviathan, and hell, I don't even think that will be still ongoing when Limbus releases. So, the thing that Project Moon did with having a game and then two side projects, for example Arena and then Wonderlab and Distortion Detective, right now there's no sign of something similar to that happening with Limbus. And that's for the side content. The side content can always happen during Limbus and it won't take that much energy. But like I mentioned, we won't see LobCorp 2 for maybe years. And with that, that's all the major problems I have with Limbus, and why I think it will be dead on arrival. In conclusion, we were hyped up for a mobile game, and a gacha game by that will release later this year, and might not even stay alive for that long of time. So, to summarize it, it's probably gonna suck ass, and you should have picked the other Schizo game,